Welcome to the Bitchin' Siblings Podcast.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Bitchin' Siblings Podcast. This is Jenny, and Amy's joining me today.
Hi, guys.
It's just us two for a hot minute. And we've decided to switch things up a little bit. Like, we were noticing some of our podcasts were getting a little long because we like to talk. So we decided to kind of do a little... I know. We decided to kind of do some, like, mini episodes on our this or that so that we do at the end of each episode. So tonight's this or that theme is spring, because we're being hopeful that even though the groundhog saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter, that spring will be here sooner rather than later.
6 more weeks?
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so Amy, spring edition, florals or polka dots when it comes to prints? Florals.
I can't pull off polka dots to save my life. I look like a 5-year-old if I ever try. So, yeah, I'll go with florals.
I feel like they're both kind of iffy because if you're not careful, they can both seem very matronly. And I don't want to come across older than I actually am.
See, and maybe that's what the part, like, I don't think, like, at least the floral prints that I have, they don't, maybe it's the style of the...
Also, I'm saying I think it depends on the print and the style and the color.
Yeah, but no matter what style, I cannot pull off a polka dot. At all.
Okay, good to know. Tulips or daisies?
Tulips. Tulips are my absolute favorite. There. So up in Washington, there's this... What's it called? Tulip Fest?
The Tulip Festival in Skagit County.
Yeah. So, like, I love going there. It's very reminiscent of a Dutch tulip field.
I have never actually been there.
To the Tulip Festival in Skagit County?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never.
I've only been once.
I lived there for 20 years and never went.
I went once, but although daisies are number 2, and they were the flower at my wedding.
Mine are daisies. It's my favorite flower. It does not matter. I like the Gerber daisies. I like the non-Gerber.
Mm-hmm.
I like all of them. Again, they were also in my wedding bouquet and flowers.
Which one?
The daisies.
No. Your
wedding.
The one in 2001 or
both.
The more recent? Really?
Actually, both. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember your bouquet from this last one for some reason.
It was, so I didn't want a lot. So, like, I wanted daisies and I wanted alstroemerias because those are Mom's favorite flowers. So I wanted to incorporate an alstroemeria into there. And because of the color scheme, there was a lot of alstroemerias we could use. So he did, like, this really beautiful light pink daisy with, like, a different color alstroemeria. But he took those big hydrangeas and used that as kind of like the cone base and then, like, stuck them. So, like, it was hydrangeas, alstroemerias, daisies, and I think a couple of other smaller flowers. I made sure that I told him I don't want any greenery in my flowers and I didn't want any baby's breath.
Gotcha.
So daisies are my favorite. Always have been, always will be. And they're actually one of the cheaper flowers.
Right?
So, okay. Sunshine or rain?
Sunshine. Absolutely. Sunshine. Enough said.
Yeah.
I know
Mine's
you're
rain.
very opposite.
Mine's rain. Oh gosh. Now, if it's in the winter and it's fucking freezing cold, I don't like the rain just because you can't enjoy it. Now, if it's in the spring, summer, or fall where it's just slightly crisp, I love to open the windows or the doors and just listen to the rain, and it's so peaceful and calming. And then I love after it rains how the birds start to chirp. And it's just, there's something about that sound that is just so intoxicating to me.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the sound of rain. I just don't, I don't like being in it. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Birds or butterflies?
Oh, that one's actually kind of hard. I don't know why. I'm going to say birds because we feed the birds. I don't know. I don't have a good reason. I love both. Butterflies are absolutely beautiful. but
I don't know that I could pick either or.
like we have a fountain in our backyard, and the birds like to come in and play in the fountain.
See, we
And
have
like
a fish pond, and so yeah, we have birds that come in and will sit there and bathe themselves in the pond and sit on
yeah,
the lily pads and everything. So
yeah, like it doesn't matter that our dogs are outside. Like the birds don't seem phased at all. Like the tiny little birds don't seem phased that our dogs are outside. Like they know that those dogs are not going to hurt them.
mine is like a freight train when she comes through. So even though she's not going to hurt them, she kind of just like barrels out the door and makes so much noise that I think she just frightens them with their sound. And her, like the girl literally, she is a wrecking ball in a, what is it,
A bull in a china
a
shop.
bull in a china shop. That's what she is. She just like has absolutely no idea how big she is. She is like literally trips over her own 2 feet. Like she is just, so yeah, our birds, I don't think they're scared of her. I think she just comes out with so much energy and so much strength that they just, I think, are startled by her, so they don't come around when she's outside.
I don't blame them.
So I would pick birds too, again, for that. And same thing with the rain. I love listening to them chirp first thing in the morning or right after the rain. It's very relaxing, very calming. It's very, even, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Even Elle the other day was like, Mom, I really like mornings, because the other day it was pretty decent morning here. It was chilly in the 30s, but compared to the negatives we've had, and like you could hear the birds chirping, and he was like, it's so calm and peaceful. I was like, yes, kid, like go sit outside more, like.
Yeah.
Okay, egg hunt or treasure hunt?
Treasure hunt. I don't know where the idea of hunting for eggs came from. Like that seems very weird. I'd rather hunt for treasure. Like who would rather have eggs than treasure?
Can I have plastic eggs with treasure inside them?
Ooh, I like that. So I've seen this thing where people like will hide the tiny little bottles of booze
Yes.
in the big plastic eggs for like adult
Yes.
Easter egg hunts. That's the
Mhm.
kind of egg hunt I want to be a part of.
So I think it was 2 years ago, we did a glow in the dark Easter egg hunt with our boys. It was great. Because, I mean, they're teenagers. So what do you do, for Easter? And we hid some with some candy and some had some money in it. And then we had one big golden Easter egg. And whoever found that got like, I think it was like a $20 gift card or something. I don't quite remember what it was, but it was like the big prize or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was glow in the dark, and we had them inside the house and outside in the backyard, and we did it at night, and it was freaking awesome. The kids loved it. It was so much fun. I still have the eggs. All you have to do is rebuy like the glow sticks, and you just put them inside the egg.
So like growing up, grandma always had an Easter egg hunt. And like all the cousins would love to come over. Like we had Aunt Sunday had a best friend who had 2 little girls. They loved coming over to grandma's house for Easter egg hunts. Like Easter was I don't know why, but like Easter was a big deal growing up. But as I've gotten older, I want to hunt for something more fun than just an egg.
Yeah, we definitely do the older stuff. And then like I know I dated somebody whose parents, all their kids were either in college or out of college, and so for their Easter egg hunts, they were very smart. His parents were very smart. They hid like boxes of crackers and top ramen and toilet paper and stuff that college kids need and would use, and just like a whole bunch of stuff like Pirates Booty popcorn, like little bags of chips, like just stuff that college kids are too broke to buy. I'm sure it was more expensive, but it's stuff that you probably would have helped your children purchase at some point when they were in college anyways. This way it just turned into like this huge Easter egg hunt where you could buy like, and I'm not talking like, I mean, I'm talking like toilet paper towels, dish soap, I mean all the essentials that everybody needs, and like, sign me up, I'll go hunt
hell yeah
for all of that crap. That was one of the most innovative ones I've seen when you have that many kids like in college. Like, how do you keep them entertained for Easter?
Yeah that is a really cool idea though.
It was great. Okay, rain boots or sandals?
because this is a spring edition, I'm going to go with rain boots. I love sandals. Don't get me wrong. I will wear sandals all summer. But I love the whimsy of rain boots. And I love the idea of like tromping through puddles like you're a 6-year-old little kid. But I don't know that I don't know that I ever have had rain boots since I was
Same
like
here.
10.
I don't know that I've ever owned a pair of rain boots.
Oh, I did when I was a kid. Like up until I want to say I was about 10, and they were purple with yellow trim. Why do I remember that?
I don't remember if I've ever owned. And I'm a sandals person because the closest I can be to barefoot, the better. I would love to walk barefoot everywhere. Like the bottom. I mean, I need pedicures just to keep, because I will walk barefoot everywhere if I can.
I'm definitely there with you, but at the same time, because we're talking spring,
yeah,
I'm going to say the weather's probably not as dry.
No, but because I've never owned a pair of rain boots, I can't say that I would. I mean, I like jumping in puddles too, but I would rather do that with like sandals. Not sandals, but slides. So like my feet still get wet, but like
yeah, I don't want my feet wet.
Oh, see,
I do not want my feet wet. And then I didn't necessarily have rain boots past 10, but we had rubber boots for when we were in the horse pasture and like mucking out the poop and stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually loved the feel of that, just like flopping around, because they didn't actually fit me. They were way too big for me. But
yeah, they were for anybody that came to help with the horse pasture. They were like the extra pair.
Exactly.
Okay, picnic or barbecue?
I'm going to go with barbecue because I feel like a picnic feels like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like a lot of planning, and barbecue. I'm not the one ever planning barbecues. That's my husband's expertise.
Picnic to me seems more like calm and quiet and almost romantic and like very airy. Barbecue is fun. You can have friends over, you can drink, you can play yard games, you can do it at any time of day.
If anyone knows me, I'm not that kind of low key. I'm the bull in the china shop. I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah, same.
So there's
that. Barbecue it is for me.
Yeah.
Kayaking or hiking?
Oh, that's cold. That's okay. So based on the fact that this is spring, I'm gonna go with hiking because I'll do the kayaking in the summer. Yeah. Like, and there's always cool places to hike that you've not been. So, what about you?
I think it depends on where I'm at. If I were back home in Washington, hiking all day, every day, just because you could never run out of places to hike. I get it. You can also not run out of places to kayak. However, I love hiking. When we went to Glenwood Springs a couple of years back, we hiked up to Hanging Lake. I had not hiked in probably 10 years. Kicked my motherfucking ass. But
it's a good workout.
Oh my God. But it was the most rewarding experience once you get up to the top. And like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, and kayaking, this is going to sound really, really strange. I don't mind kayaking in smaller bodies of water. But like kayaking in like the bigger bodies of water, I never could get the tip and roll out down, because you have to know, like, especially because I went to summer camp, you have to know, sorry, I have like eye stuff. You have to know how to get out of a kayak before they'll let you kayak at summer camp. So like you have to purposely tip it over and show them that you can slide out, because that's the only way you're going to save yourself from drowning. And I could never quite get it right because I was always afraid of drowning, that I think my fear took over more than learning how to get out of it. So I just...
See, and that's the other thing too. I don't know that I've ever actually kayaked, but at the same time, Bill and I have been looking to get a kayak for me. But we're looking at more of like the sit on top ones, not the ones that I'm enclosed, because I have a problem with that.
Right. Kind of like the paddle boards. It's like a paddle board where you sit on top, but it has a little bit of a seat and everything. I think Chris has one that's similar to that for his fishing when he goes out onto those little lakes.
Yeah, and that's the kind that I would prefer to use.
Yeah, but hiking any day. Now, if I'm here, where am I going to hike? Kayaking would be better, just because there's more streams, or creeks. They're not fucking rivers. Like, I don't I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was about the Lewis and Clark
Trail?
expedition,
Yeah.
and they were talking about the mighty Platte, which the Platte River runs through Nebraska. I don't know what they're talking about when they say the mighty Platte, because the goddamn thing's a creek. You can walk from one side to the other.
But you got to figure maybe back then it was way
right.
more water.
So, like, for me, I was telling my husband, I really am now curious about looking up some older historical pictures of what the Platte used to look like. Keep in mind, the Platte is, from my understanding, not dammed at any point in Nebraska. So it's not like it's being used for hydroelectric power like the Columbia or like the Mississippi or the Missouri or whatever. So I don't know why it looks the way it does now, but like when I first came here, everybody was like, "Oh, it's the Great Platte River," and I was like, "That's a fucking creek." Like, I'm thinking of river where we come, the Snake, the Columbia, the Isn't there the Yakima? Is there a Yakima River?
I don't know about Yak. I know there's the Puyallup.
The Puyallup. Like, you don't go in those bodies of water; those are dangerous. You will die.
Yeah,
You know,
you
what
will
I
get
mean?
swept up.
Yeah, rivers are not something that we were ever allowed to go in. And oh my God, here people like go tubing down the rivers. Because it's anyways. So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. So hiking here is not something for me, but kayaking you can do, because if you tip out, you can just stand up. And I have done that a couple of times on an inner tube where I had all the liquor in my tube and we were going straight for a tree that had fallen down into the river. And I was trying to get out of the way of the tree, but I got sucked under it from the current and like tipped over. But I kept the beer above the water.
Of course. That was the important part.
Because that was a slightly deeper space because the tree had fallen over. So like the river had kind of like dug like a canal toward
like a little trench
underneath it. So it was, I couldn't stand, I mean, I could stand up, but it was like to my head. But the beer was above the water. I saved the beer, and that's all that's important. However,
Absolutely.
I did not save the rest of the beer that was in my, I had the open one in my hand, but then I had like the other ones in mine because, well, I'm not going to say why the alcohol was in my inner tube, but that all got lost. It floated down the river.
Oh.
It's okay. Relaxing or cleaning?
Who would prefer to clean? Are you fucking kidding me? Are we sisters?
Love the summertime, or not the summertime, but the springtime, where I can get up in the morning, open the windows, and like let all the air in, clean the fans, get all that dust that's been sitting. Because I swear to God, no matter how much I dust in the winter, it's dirty the next day because the doors are like, there's no air movement, and Coda loves to run in and out and play around, and I love to vacuum, and like, I'm not talking like deep clean, I'm just talking like put on my headphones and just kind of go through my day and like slowly clean. And
yeah, no, I only ever clean if it's because I have to. Or like every now and then I'll get a bug to clean, and generally when that happens it's like I'm washing the walls and I'm wiping baseboards. Like I'll get weird urges, but no, that's
like
not
my
a regular
favorite thing right
for
now
me.
is every Saturday. It doesn't matter. There's either Roger's at work or he's sleeping, but everybody's still sleeping or laying in bed, and it's like 10 o'clock, so it's not like super early, but I'll get up and I'll put my beats on and I'll do some dishes and I'll vacuum and I'll take out the garbage, and like I love doing that in the morning when nobody else is awake or nobody's around, and I just put my headphones on and I just kind of do my own thing. I do dishes and I clean the counters and like,
Or you're lucky like me and you have a house husband that does all that during the week while you're at work.
My husband does that on his days off. Like he definitely like does that, but he does the stuff like the deeper cleaning. I do like the daily stuff. Like I vacuum. We have a dog, I do the dishes. He does those too, but on a daily basis, I usually every other day have to vacuum to get dog hair, cleaning off the counters, taking out the garbage, doing the dishes, cleaning the sink, the basics to keep. But then he does other stuff on his day. So
yeah, I totally get that. It's just I am the most spoiled person now. I don't know what I would ever do if I didn't have him to do just the basic shit.
Okay, we only have a few more. Riding bikes or flying kites? That rhymes.
That does rhyme.
I'm going to say neither, because flying kites, I've never really been able to do it. Like, I swear,
Really?
it's just never
Not
been
even at
something
the
I can
ocean?
do. Well, that's like a whole other situation because you got to be ready to hold down a damn kite at the ocean, like, unless you want to get carried away. But I used to enjoy riding bikes, but now that I'm older, good Lord, does it make the crotch hurt. Those bicycle seats are not for comfort.
That's why you replace it with a beanbag.
I've still replaced it with other stuff, and I swear to God, it doesn't matter. If I'm on that bike for more than 10 minutes, I'm walking around like I got a stick up there.
I'm gonna go with flying kites because it's kind of fun. Actually, I haven't done that in a long time.
I'll say flying kites just because it's fun to watch. I love going to the beach and watching people fly them and see all the different types of kites. It's just not something I'm good at.
Did you ever really, when you went to the ocean growing up, did you take kites out there and fly kites?
Yes, and I am the most uncoordinated person in the world. And it doesn't matter how many times I run, I could never get the thing up off the ground.
See, and I don't remember getting it up off the ground, but I remember it being up off the ground. So I don't know if somebody got my
She doesn't
kite
remember getting it up, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I got out of that sentence. I don't know about you.
Shut your face. No, I just remember flying them. So I don't know if somebody got my kite up in the air and then handed it off to me.
Yeah.
I
couldn't.
I actually think I still have my childhood kite. It was like I think it was yellow and it had a red unicorn on it.
Random.
Like just the silhouette of a unicorn.
Random.
Yeah.
Okay, brunch or lunch?
Brunch.
Same.
I like breakfast foods, and I love the idea of having some mimosas with my breakfast.
See, I don't like breakfast food, but I like some breakfast foods, which is why I like brunch, because I can have the few breakfast foods I like, but still eat like lunch.
Okay, so you've said that before. What kind of breakfast foods do you like?
I like breakfast foods. I don't like it at breakfast. It's too heavy.
Okay, so it's not the food itself, it's the time of day.
Yes.
That's a problem.
But some of it is just stuff like, okay, I like bacon, don't get me wrong. I am not obsessed with it like I'm not a super huge pork person when it comes to bacon or ham or sausage in a breakfast because it's too salty. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's salty, and then I feel kind of bloated and like I'm holding. It's good. I just can't eat a lot of it. Eggs, I like. They have a tendency to make my tummy feel icky after I eat them.
Okay.
So I just don't eat them often.
Okay.
You know, I love hash browns. I love pancakes. I love waffles, but pancakes and waffles make my tongue hurt. Similar to the way that it hurts when I eat pineapple and banana. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah, it's I'm weird, I know. But like we have a place here in town that has a brunch and they make this really good strawberry cream cheese French toast bake.
Okay, hold on.
So good.
Back up a little with the whole your tongue hurting when you eat waffles or pancakes.
Yeah.
Are you actually our sister, or are you?
I don't know. I told you.
Were you brought home?
It's so funny.
Did they bring the wrong child home?
No, it's possible. And the reason why I say this is because a couple of days ago I used to have Ancestry.com, right? And I have it, but I don't pay the extra for it.
Yeah.
So I get very little. And the other day it was like, oh, you have a vitals hit or whatever. And for some reason, our biological father's mother popped up as like something like a grave hit or whatever. Like they'd found like graves or whatever. And she had a picture. There was a picture on there of her and our biological grandfather on our dad's side, who, please keep in mind for any of our listeners, I honestly would never be able to pick these people out of a crowd. I've seen very few photos of them. But I sent the picture to my husband and I go, I swear to God, I'm the mailman's child, because I don't look like our maternal grandparents. And I have more of a relationship, or had more of a relationship with them than I did with our paternal grandparents. I don't look like our grandma, Ginny, who I'm named after. I don't look like Grandpa Ted.
Mm-hmm.
That's his name. Ted or Tim? Ted.
You had it right, Ted.
And then Grandma Ruth, who I'm also named after, which is our paternal grandma. And then I don't even know her husband's name.
Richard.
Okay. I don't look like either one of them, or any of the four of them. I don't look like either one of our parents, but I look like you guys. And I don't look like you guys. Like you and Chris look exactly alike. And I don't know. I would not be surprised if they brought home the wrong child. So one of you guys should do a 23andMe and see if how much of
Our
related we
DNA
are.
matches.
Are we half siblings? Do I have a different dad?
Whoa. You just blew my mind.
Right?
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
Wouldn't that be? I'm not saying that I am, but I would not be surprised if it came back that we were only half related and I'm not related to our biological father, because I don't think I look like him or anybody in that family at all. And I don't look like anybody in our biological mom side of the family. But obviously we know she's my mom biologically.
Well, do we though? Because
unless I was switched in the hospital.
Exactly. Because that back then, it wasn't like the baby never left the mother's room like they do
Right.
now. Like they went into the nursery.
But there has to be some relation because we do look alike.
You're our cousin.
So I either have the same dad as you guys or I have the same mom as you guys.
Yeah, you got the same mom. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right? So one of y'all needs to do this 23andMe and figure
Okay.
out how closely related we are. Because so far when I've done it, the closest related relative that I have found is a cousin. And we only share 7% of our DNA. That's the closest relation to anybody that's uploaded their DNA on this thing that I am with. Everybody else is like 0.5% or whatever. So
Interesting.
I'd be interested to see that. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Back on
Blossoms
track.
or peonies?
What kind of blossoms?
It just says blossoms.
I mean, I like peonies.
I don't.
I mean, they're kind of pretty.
They're okay.
I like how loose and floppy their little flowers are.
Okay.
What are they called? What are the little
Stem?
petals?
Oh, okay.
Petals.
Wow. Amy glitched there for a minute.
My brain glitches a lot.
We're going to skip over that one because that one's very generic and I don't really know that either one of us have a decent enough answer. So the last one, farmer's market or grocery store?
Farmer's market. Absolutely, hands down. Like, one, I feel like the fruits and vegetables are much more fresh at a farmer's market. And I feel like you can like make friends there and like learn where your food is coming from and maybe strike up a relationship with them and like start trading something. I don't know. I like farmers markets.
I do too. They're not as big as what I would like. I mean, I live in a smaller, and by like I said, smaller 30,000 person town. So like I would love to live in an area where it was a little bit bigger, so it was more of a selection. Whereas the farmers market here in town, there's only like one person that does like pumpkins, and then another person does this, and so there's like no, there's not as much variety. Okay.
What are you doing over there?
I dropped my microphone. There's not as much variety. Like when it comes to like, oh, this person has cucumbers and that person has cucumbers and so does that. So you can't really like shop around.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like I'm picky, but sometimes, some people have different ways.
We
of
also
growing
have a
things.
lot of people that sell their produce like literally on a street corner.
Yeah.
Up here, like we have a lot of especially coming up actually here shortly, we should be seeing a lot of strawberry farmers just selling their wares on the corner, and
yeah,
I will stop there and buy a flat of
I remember doing that
strawberries.
growing up. We would buy cherries on the side of the road, Washington cherries.
Yeah,
Like they would
Rainier
go over
cherries.
They would go over to the east side, pick them, and then come back and sell them on like those big 4-way intersections. Probably the most dangerous thing we ever did growing up.
Probably.
All right, so that is our this and that.
All right. Well, keep in mind you can submit any suggestions for our this and that to Ginny and Amy podcast at gmail.com. That's GINNYANDAMY podcast at gmail.com.
You can also find us at Bitching Siblings Podcast on Instagram. We might eventually get a Facebook page, but for right now, we're just trying to limit the social media because I'm old, and I even forgot to post last week. Thank God there's another one of us doing this. But that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
We'll see you next time.